Donald Trump, also known as Mr. Suck. We previously knew him as the PP, pedophile president, but I think he might also be Mr. Suck. POTUS, more like Throatus. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the Epstein revelations right now. It brings me incredible pleasure to talk about it, of course, partially because this is something that I have been screaming about for almost a decade, and now more and more people are tuning in to this issue. More and more people are recognizing the reality. More and more people are asking the question, why are there so many both liberal and Republican, both Democrat and Republican Party boosters that were so embedded with Jeffrey Epstein, so directly connected to Jeffrey Epstein? Why is Donald Trump so directly connected with Jeffrey Epstein? Now, of course, a lot of this is off of pure speculation. Jeffrey Epstein asked his brother Mark Epstein whether Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba, which is Bill Clinton's nickname. And this obviously took a whole different life of its own. People lost their dang minds over it. They're like, oh my God, Donald Trump might have given the big suck to Big Bill, totally redefining the term Big Beautiful Bill. If you assume that Bill Clinton was packing heat, because Bill Clinton's nickname is Bubba. Do I believe that Donald Trump actually throated Bill Clinton? No, I don't. Will I entertain it just for fun? Absolutely. I'm sorry. We can have some fun. America is out of control. It's bouldering in the direction of fascism. Material conditions are deteriorating at an alarming rate. We're going to have a little bit of fun in the meantime. You know what I mean? We're going to speculate on whether or not the current president actually sucked off the former president, Bill Clinton. Trump giving the microphone a blowjob, dude has to be gay, right? That's so funny. And of course, this ties back to one of my favorite conspiracies, which is not a conspiracy, but reality. Donald Trump is bisexual aromantic. Donald Trump simply has sex as a power status. That's precisely the reason why he is, many different sexual assault and rape allegations, including from his wife, his former wife, who passed away. But of course, many others are finally coming to that conclusion as well. So I will take it. Oh, asexual biromantic. Sorry, I said bisexual aromantic. Sorry, I meant asexual biromantic. Ace visibility, bi visibility. Perhaps in the worst possible way that we could do either of those things on this broadcast, but it needed to be done nonetheless. Donald Trump, famous for talking about Arnold Palmer having a huge cock.
This man was strong and tough, and I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it.
Donald Trump, famously a major fan of Andrew Lloyd Webber and Broadway musicals in general. Donald Trump, who has talked about how handsome all the people are around him with regular frequency. Donald Trump talking about kissing men in the crowd. Donald Trump offering this microphone a blowjob. Turns out it's not the only thing he might have offered a blowjob to. Let's take a look at this.
I had to go.
I mean, come on, guys. Motherfucker loves YMCA, dude. The double dick suck dance move originated with YMCA playing in the background. How are we going to sit here and act like the signs weren't there? How are we going to sit here and act as though the signs weren't hitting you in the face like Bill Clinton tapping it on Trump's tongue? That's muscle memory, baby. A while back, you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. This is a conversation that took place in the emails between Mark Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein. They're the brother of Jeffrey Epstein, Mark Epstein. How are you doing? A while back, you mentioned you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? All good, Bannon with me. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. And I thought I had Cirrus. You and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard, sent via tin can and string. You mean Donnie T. I'd rather be in Donnie D's shoes. I don't know what these references are. But basically, the big part of this, the major incident here is when he said, ask him if Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba. From POTUS to Throatus. It says photos implying its existence. Now, do I think that Donald Trump actually sucked off Bill Clinton? No, I don't. This is most likely two brothers talking shit, especially because Mark Epstein, from what if I recall correctly, was very anti-Trump. And Jeffrey Epstein also had like a liberal, he's a billionaire sex trafficker pedophile, so he transcends above the partisan lines, but had a liberal tinge to his personal politics, I guess.
Epstein files, President Trump ordering the Department of Justice to investigate the convicted sex offenders' possible ties to Democrats, and in particular.
Careful, if we find out that's really true, they'll brand this as the next Ukraine. Brother, if it turns out that Donald Trump actually sucked off Bill Clinton, are you kidding me? I don't think anybody will turn around and be like, wow, Hasan, you were wrong on this. Hold this L. It is an L that I will gladly hold. For the record, it will be my greatest L of all time. I will not care about holding that L because I will be losing my mind. First of all, America will collapse if that's real. You understand that, right? Because Republicans, many of them, can see themselves in Trump's shoes. This is very important to understand. They can see themselves being like, oh, who amongst us hasn't wanted to, one of our daughter's friends, who cares if they're young? They can see themselves being a pedophile. Some of them have actual pedophilic tendencies. Some of them have actually done pedophilia, right? In the base of MAGA support. But none of them can defend sucking off Bill Clinton, okay? It is the only thing that could destroy Donald Trump. Donald Trump doing pedophilia would not destroy the loyalty that he has developed within the MAGA base as much as Donald Trump sucking off Bill Clinton. Donald Trump sucking off any random guy would still be worse than Donald Trump being a pedophile in the eyes of the MAGA base. However, that guy being Bill Clinton is the absolute worst thing. I've been thinking about this quite a bit. It's like, what if the real reason why Donald Trump did not want the Epstein files to be released is not because he actually was doing pedophilia, but because he knows that Jeffrey Epstein knows the secret that him and Bill Clinton actually had gay sex. There is no defense of that. And I hadn't even thought about this because I had not considered Donald Trump potentially sucking off Bill's penis. My mistake. I guess I'm not pre-watch Piker on that. I guess the only thing worse than Donald Trump being caught sucking off Bill Clinton would be if he sucked off Obama. Here's an old tweet. If Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? @real Donald Trump. #2016 president. The sad state of affairs in this country is, and this brings me no pleasure to say it, but the sad state of politics in America dictates that pedophilia is not a career ender in the way that having gay sex would be for Donald Trump. Oh, John Marco said the same thing. It's sad to say, but for Republicans, I think the gay allegation is more damaging than the pedophilia one. And it's not just any gay allegation. It's the absolute worst, pretty much. For his base, you mean? Yes, for his base. For his base. And the reason for why it's worse for his base is because they can see themselves being a pedophile, but they can't see themselves sucking Bill Clinton's dick. Is this difficult to comprehend? I don't know. Maybe you guys are like, I don't understand. There's nothing wrong with being gay. I agree. I'm not talking about it from my perspective because let's be real, cancellation is not real. Okay, cancel culture is not. I mean, it's weaponized all the time, and dare I say, more successfully utilized against the left than it is the right. And the reason for why it's more successfully utilized against the left than the right is because you can only be quote unquote canceled by your fans. You can only be canceled by your own audience, by your own base of support. And Donald Trump's base of support openly has shown that they do not give a about pedophilia. They don't care. Some will, but not all. I mean, Megyn Kelly basically revealed that. I think it's the dick that he sucked matters more than the dick in and of itself. No, the dick in and of itself matters the most, but the dick that he sucked, if it's Bill Clinton's, makes it completely irredeemable in the eyes of the MAGA base. But yes, I think Republicans unironically think being gay is worse than being a pedophile. In the heat of all of this panic and the memes and everything else that's going on, Donald Trump, of course, came out and is trying to get ahead of the situation. So he demanded that the DOJ investigate Epstein's ties to the Democrats. Now, I love this for two reasons. One, because there are ties with Democrats and Jeffrey Epstein, and I think those ties should be exposed. But I do think that this also pushes the Democrats in general to also fight back and go extra hard on the ties that Jeffrey Epstein has to prominent Republicans, including Donald Trump. This is a moment for us on the left to kick our feet back and enjoy the show from the outside.
Overnight, President Trump defending his extraordinary order to his attorney general and the FBI to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement.
Oh, Chomsky was on the Lolita Express? Oh, dude. Oh, my God. I don't even want to get into that. Holy shit. Dude, Noam Chomsky's connections to Jeffrey Epstein are so vast. It's so much worse than I previously thought it was. It is crazy, okay? It is absolutely crazy.
And relationship with several prominent Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, and, quote, many other people and institutions.
I am considered the chief law enforcement agent in the country, and I'm allowed to do it.
Attorney General Pam Bondi publicly responding on Friday, will do, saying the department will pursue this with urgency and integrity. This comes even though Bondi herself had closed the Epstein case earlier this year, declaring we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third.
Why are you singing a different tune now?
Top Democrats calling Trump panicked and desperate.
Will Donald Trump be investigated as part of this? Or is there going to be one set of rules for Donald?
His ass was not manufacturing consent? No, he was, just for something different. His ass was manufacturing consent, manufacturing an alternative vision of age of consent.
Trump's friends and supporters, and another set for his critics.
Former President Clinton did travel on Epstein's plane multiple times after his presidency, but Clinton says he was unaware of Epstein's crimes and never visited Epstein's private island. He has not been accused of wrongdoing. A spokesperson for the Clinton Foundation says these emails prove Bill Clinton did nothing and knew nothing. The rest is noise meant to distract from election losses, backfiring shutdowns, and who knows what else. Even some Republicans pushing back.
Okay, dude. All right, dude. Bill Clinton knew nothing and did nothing. Bill Clinton is literally more visibly connected to Jeffrey Epstein than Donald Trump was until this very moment. It turns out Donald Trump's connections to Jeffrey Epstein were far more significant than we previously thought. And I will say, as a ball knower, as someone who's paid close attention to this stuff, I used to always say, like, well, there's a point where Donald Trump no longer publicly associates with Jeffrey Epstein, and it far predates Bill Clinton. The Clinton family kept their connection to Jeffrey Epstein fairly visible. Ghislaine Maxwell was front and center at Chelsea Clinton's wedding, for example. Donald Trump, it turns out, was also still very connected to Jeffrey Epstein. More connected than we previously thought. I previously said, due to the MAD principle, mutually assured destruction principle, mutually assured pedophilia destruction principle specifically, because of how many powerful people were associated with Jeffrey Epstein, that no one would actually ever dare to blow the lid on this thing. But now that there's so much public pressure and Trump feels the need to be responsive to said public pressure due to the fact that his popularity is waning, it kind of feels like this house of cards is falling apart.
This all comes 2 days after the House Oversight Committee released thousands of documents from Epstein's estate. Many of them mention Trump. In a 2017 email to former Secretary Larry Summers, Epstein writes, "I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body, so yes, dangerous." In a 2018 text to an unidentified person, Epstein writes, "I am the one able to take him down." Trump, who denies any wrongdoing, says he cut ties with Epstein because Epstein and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, were luring away women and teenage girls who worked at Mar-a-Lago.
I always knew he was a pedophile. Doesn't hit as hard when Jeffrey Epstein is talking about meeting Donald Trump in like 2019, right before he was arrested alongside Prince Andrew.
Next week, dozens of House Republicans are expected to break with the president and vote to demand the release of the FBI's full Epstein files, something that Trump, his vice president, and FBI Director Kash Patel had vowed to do during the campaign.
What the hell are the...
Never thought this before, but Trump may have murked Epstein. I mean, I always assumed it was the deep state burning an asset. I didn't realize that it was Donald Trump directing said deep state burning, the deep state burning of the asset. What's crazy is Donald Trump doesn't drink or do drugs. He's doing a sax solo on Clinton off a Diet Coke and a lime. Oh my God. That is true. I didn't even think about that. I did not even think about that. Kyle Kalinske hits the devil's triangle here, okay? Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, blue. Monica Lewinsky, blue. Bill Clinton. Hillary Clinton, blue. Bill Clinton, did not blow, did not blow, did not blow, okay? Except... John Marco says, there's no evidence Hillary blew him. Monica Lewinsky was the fall guy. It was Donald. Oh my God. How deep does this conspiracy go? Dude, what the Hold on, chatter. You're not wrong. What if it was actually Donald Trump that blew Bill Clinton in the White House? And then they made Monica Lewinsky into the fall guy. This entire time. I like it. I believe it. That's headcanon. That's canon. That's canon. Lock it in.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding-dongs. But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Didn't you already tell Der Spiegel that?
No, the son of a bitch walked in there in my own office when I'd splattered stuff on myself and I was changing shirts. He goes, oh, that's a good shot. Let's get your shirts. And then he goes, I go, hey, have some of this chicken and sausage. So technically I said, Jones offered me his sausage. Yeah, give me a break, you son of a bitch. I like women, not men. And if I liked men, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a line of them. But I ain't ever been in bed with no man. I've been in bed with probably 300 women. And
This is why he's the GOAT, by the way. Like, this is why he is irreplaceable. This is why he is irreplaceable as a figure on the right. Just like the raw sexual charisma of Alex Jones. God damn, what a legend.